Hi, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my March wrap up. So as you know from my previous videos, I have been in a bit of a reading slump. So this month I read 2 books, listened to 2 audiobooks, and there's one book that I did not finish just because I just could not get through it. So I'm just going to go through this and show you what I've done this month. The first book I read is a book that's been on my TBR for so long. I got this book at a charity shop last summer and for some reason I just haven't read it, and that is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Graudin. So this is one that I definitely wanted to read in March, and thankfully I read it, and I have no idea why I put this off. What I didn't realise is that this is actually an alternate history. I thought this happened during World War II, but it happens after World War II, and it's if Hitler won. The world is like basically almost controlled by Hitler, and every year they do this kind of race between Germany and Japan, I think it is, to kind of celebrate. This girl, she enters the race, and it's her job to win this race and to meet Hitler and to kill him and start off a rebellion. And I loved it. I loved the character. It's got a hint of, I would say, science fiction in it, because as you know, the Nazis did experiments on the Jewish people, and in this, the lady, she is a person who was experimented on, and she's kind of being given shapeshifter abilities, which is amazing. So I love this, and I can't wait to read, is it Blood for Blood? The second book in the duology, so I can't wait to give that a go, because this was just amazing and it was so different, and it's kind of like made me want to read more alternate history rather than just historic fiction. Alternate history seems to be so good, just to imagine this world where Hitler has won, and not really by fighting. Lots of people just signed peace treaties with him because they didn't want another war, but I think it's just amazing that someone has thought of this and about what could have possibly have happened, because it's just scary to think what would have happened if Hitler had won. But yeah, if you like your history and stuff like that, I would definitely give this a go, because it is amazing. Then I was in the mood for more historic fiction, so I thought I'd read another book that I've had for quite a while, and that was By Gaslight by Stephen Price. So I got this for my birthday, and I'm kind of wanting to get all the books that I got last year out of the way and just kind of like refresh my TBR. The problem with this is that I didn't think it was that long. I thought it was about maybe 400, 500 pages, but it's actually 700. And then when I started reading it, I just could not get into it. I thought I would love this. It's basically like a Victorian murder mystery, but I just found it a bit boring, could not get into it. And also, for some reason, the author does not use speech marks, and I just could not get my head around it, and I think that's why I wasn't really into it. 'Cause I was thinking more about, why isn't he using speech marks? Is this a speech, or is he thinking this? And I just could not get into it. So I am going to give this to my friend, and if I do want to maybe try it when I'm out of this reading slump, I might just buy it back. Just want to get it off my shelf, just so I'm not looking at it and it's not reminding me of this slump that I'm in. And then I finally read Red Queen by Philippa Gregory. As you know, I mention this in every wrap up, but I'm reading the Plantagenet and Tudor series, so I'm reading 1 book a month. This is the 3rd book, and I was worried that I wouldn't get it read due to me being in the huge book slump that I am in, but I managed to read it and I loved it like I did last time. From what I remembered last time when I read it, I think it was a good 3 years ago, I found this one really boring, because Margaret Beaufort, she's really, really religious, and she thinks she's been blessed by God. She thinks she's Joan of Arc, and she's like, her son Henry Tudor is born to be on the throne, and she's just very annoying. As an atheist, I think she's very annoying, because I don't believe in God at all, so I'm like, just get a life kind of thing. But rereading it as I'm older, you kind of see more about her. You know, she's lonely, she's only got this belief driving her. So I'm glad that I reread it, but still I don't think it's the best book in the series. The next book will be The Kingmaker's Daughter about Anne Neville, so I can't wait to read that in April. And like I said, I got through 2 audiobooks this month, which was great. I listened to Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. As you know, I listened to the Wuthering Heights audiobook last month, and I did not like it at all, so I was a bit worried about Jane Eyre. I actually loved it so much more than Wuthering Heights. I loved Jane as a character, she was amazing. Not a huge fan of, is it Mr. Rochester? I can't remember his name. I think it's Rochester, isn't it? I get them mixed up. Not a big fan of him, but I preferred the story. There was a bit more of a mystery about, you know, the woman in the tower. The ending was a bit weird when she went off to live with her cousins. Well, strangers that turned out to be cousins, because I thought maybe it didn't need that. But I did love it. I'm glad that I listened to it. Maybe in the future I might actually read it and see what it's like reading it. But I'm definitely glad I listened to it. It was narrated by Thandie Newton as well, and she was amazing. The other audiobook I listened to was The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. So I got this the same day I got Wolf by Wolf at the charity shop. So this has been on my TBR for a long, long time. And I'm so glad I listened to the audiobook, because I think if I had read this would have just made my reading slump worse. Just because I found the main character, Lo, to be so annoying. I understand she's been through some terrible stuff. Basically, before she goes on this kind of like cruise, she gets broken into and it kind of like traumatizes her. But at the same time, it reminded me a lot of the girl on the train, and it's like all about, you know, she's an alcoholic, you know, she's on antidepressants, and it's just that kind of thing that I don't like, because I hate self-doubt in thrillers. I prefer my main characters in thrillers and crime novels to be sure of themselves, so I just didn't like the self-doubt. And the ending I wasn't too keen on. I mean, I didn't guess what had happened. I thought it turned out that she was totally mental. The ending, it just wasn't what I expected. It wasn't as good as I thought it'd be. I'm glad that I've ticked it off my list though, and I can say that I've read it because it's been sitting on my TBR for a while. But again, if I hadn't listened to the audiobook I can like listen to it when I'm on my way to work, on the way back from work, and because I've been ill I haven't felt like reading, so I've been listening to audiobooks instead, just in bed. Yeah, like I said, I probably would have DNF'd it if I wasn't listening to the audiobook. The audiobook made it a lot easier to get through. So hopefully April will be a bit better. Like I said, I've got a week off in previous videos, and I'm just going to take it by here really. My TBR, as you saw, is quite short, and I'm just going to read what I feel like. I'm not going to force any books on myself. So what have you read in March, if you had a better month than me? If you want to, you can comment down below, and there's also my social media links below, and I will see you later with a new video. Bye.